Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a fantasy adventure film, Jungle Cruise. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Legend has it that in the Amazon jungle, there is Tears of the Moon, a mythical tree whose petals can cure any illness, heal any injury, and lift any curse. For ages, explorers and adventurers have been searching for the amazing tree. Among them, the Spanish conquistadors led by Don Aguirre are the most famous. The quest proves difficult as the tree is hard to find, and Aguirre's team members are falling one after another. When Aguirre is on the verge of dying, the tree guardians appear to save his life and take care of him until his recovery. However, when Aguirre sees the arrowhead, a key to Tears of the Moon, he wipes out the local tribe out of his greed. As a result, a curse befalls the remaining conquistadors, such that they are unable to die or leave the river. Hundreds of years later, a presentation of Lily's Tears of the Moon research is conducted in London in the year 1916. While Lily's brother is addressing an association of Royal Society explorers, Lily sneaks into the association's office to steal the arrowhead, which is found a while ago. As soon as Lily opens a treasure box that contains the arrowhead, two other men suddenly walk into the office. Accompanied by the chairman of the Royal Society is their sponsor of the arrowhead search. They soon discover that the arrowhead is gone, and Lily is forced to interact with them before she evades the office through the window. Lily leaves the building with a ladder and jumps down to a two-tier bus, which brother flags down. After they narrowly escape the chase, Lily and brother plan the expedition to the Amazon jungles. The sponsor is a German prince who wants the arrowhead to locate Tears of the Moon. Chairman identifies Lily, for she is a famous explorer seeking the tree. In South America, Frank brings tourists on jungle river cruises and reveals to them the mysteries of the forest. Tourists are amazed by his story, such as a bird swallowing a 150-kilogram snake and a cannibal flower devouring a man instantly. Little do they know that these are merely fake dangers and corny jokes made up by Frank. What's more, even the local cannibal tribe are also acted out by Frank's friends. As the cruise comes to an end, Frank takes the tourists back to a Brazilian harbor. Upon their arrival, a cruise owner appears to demand Frank to pay his debt. It turns out that Frank owes him a good $5,000, but Frank is not able to settle, so he has to use his cruise ship as collateral. Meanwhile, Lily and brother have also reached the same harbor, intending to rent a cruise from owner to get them down the Amazon rivers for the treasure hunt. As soon as owner walks away, Frank sneaks into his office to steal back the cruise key. At this time, Lily breaks in and mistakes Frank as owner. Lily tells him that she wants to find Tears of the Moon, according to the map drawn by Aguirre. Based on the record, they are last seen at the Crystal Tear Forest. Though Frank does not believe in such a legend, he is happy to make the deal, so that he can get back his cruise by the rent. While they are negotiating for the price, owner shows up in the restaurant, exposing Frank's true identity. In the embarrassment, Frank is surprised to spot the arrowhead worn around Lily's neck. Then, a jaguar runs into the restaurant from nowhere, and all the customers do not dare to move. Only Frank stands up to fight against the beast and manages to chase it out. Impressed by his bravery and fighting skills, Lily is determined to hire his service, so she bargains with him. Finally, they make a deal with $12,000. On the second day, before they set off, Lily is captured by Prince's men. But Lily successfully gets rid of the captors and keeps the arrowhead intact with the help of Frank. In the end, they board the cruise safely, but are soon pursued by Prince's submarine, leading to a fast and furious chase on the water. Fortunately, Frank is very familiar with the route, and he leads the team through the bombs. Frank leads the submarine to crash into owner's boat and leaves it stuck in the river. By now, their expedition to the Amazon jungle officially starts. Lily gets to see the legendary pink dolphins and enjoys the exotic forest scenery. At a crossing, Lily insists on turning right because this is a shorter route, which allows them to reach 2 days earlier, but Frank disagrees with her, for there is a strong current in that direction. At last, Frank cannot help but obeys Lily's instructions. There comes the first night on the cruise. Brother returns to the cabin for a rest. Frank tells brother that his room is a forbidden zone. On the deck, Frank and Lily are chatting about the legend of the Tears of the Moon. Lily believes that as long as they find the petal, they can cure any diseases in the world. Frank says that he has been staying here for a long time and has traveled to various corners of the jungle, but there is no such tree. At this time, the jaguar suddenly runs out to lick brother. It turns out that the jaguar is Frank's pet, and the scene of him fighting off the jaguar is also elaborately staged. Now Lily and the map are gone. Prince's team is at a loss of what to do. Prince has come up with a solution to find Aguirre, who should have remembered the map by heart. So Prince leads his men down to a dry underground cave, where the cursed bodies of the conquistadors have turned to stone, and been infested over time by tree roots and vines. Judging by their armor, one can tell that they are from medieval Spain. As soon as Prince sprinkles a drop of the Amazon River water on the Amur, 2 snakes crawl out from the stoned corpse. Prince then tells the snakes that he knows the location of the arrowhead, and he can also bring the river water to them. He offers to free them by diverting the river, if they help him retrieve the arrowhead. As the snakes nod their heads to seal the pact, Prince orders to create a new watercourse by blowing up the dam. On the rock wall, Higuera and several of his men come alive again, after touching the river. The next day, Frank's cruise enters the rapids, which split in 2 ahead of them, with a waterfall on their right, and a smooth river on their left. After a thrilling voyage, the cruise ship makes a timely escape at the top of the waterfall. It enters the river on its left, and continues to move towards the destination. The roller coaster ride leaves the Jaguar vomiting all over the place. When they come to a stretch of calm water, Frank and Brother alight the cruise to gather wood. As they get closer, Brother tells Frank he was nearly disowned by his family due to being gay. But Lily stands by him, so he would accompany and protect his sister, no matter where she goes. Driven by curiosity, Lily breaks into Frank's cabin, and discovers an archive of research information on the tears of the moon. Frank admits that he used to search for the legendary tree, but no matter how hard he tried, he found nothing. He concludes that it is just a myth. Lily feels cheated, and the two get into a heated argument. While they are quarreling, a tribe of cannibals attack them with blown pie darts, and the 3 of them faint on the spot. By the time they are awakened, it is already late at night. They arrive at a gigantic tree, studded by flickering flames. It is a grand sight to see the tribe live by the tree. Lily, Brother, and Frank are brought to the female tribe leader, who demands them to return the arrowhead. She promises to let them go as long as they surrender the artifact of their ancestors. Lily is shrewd enough to discover that it is another fake danger planned by Frank, and the tribe leader is in fact a friend of Frank. Frank apologizes and claims he is unable to call off the plan, but Lily rebukes him. Coincidentally, the leader is able to decipher the writing on the arrowhead, revealing the tree's location and that it only blooms under a blood moon. Lily is reminded of a place on the map, which looks like the snake biting on its own tail. She guesses that could be the entrance to the mysterious tree. Just when they are about to set off, the cursed Spanish conquistadors have reached their place. The conquistadors consist of a Gira possessed by a viper, a servant who has become a bee-man, a guard who has turned into a mud monster, and a swordsman who can transform into tree roots. The tribe residents are nothing before such undying monsters. Bee-man grabs Lily's arrowhead and tosses it to Agira, and then Frank moves over to fight against Agira. Even though Frank is strong, enemy gains an upper hand, and pierces his heart with a sharp sword. Frank takes back the arrowhead and passes it to Lily, before he falls into the river from the tree. Lily, Brother, tribe leader run all the way into the jungle with the arrowhead. But Agira and his fellows are not allowed to leave the Amazon River due to the curse. So they cannot give a chase and just watch them leave. Knowing their own limitations, the Spanish conquistadors enlist the prince's help. So Bee-man send out his bees to inform the prince of their emergency. The next morning, Lily finds Frank lying on the bank of the river. Though the sword pierces through his heart, he emerges unscathed. Lily pulls the sword out from his body, and comes to know more about his background. Frank reveals that his real name is Francisco, and he is one of the cursed conquistadors. Agira is a Spanish aristocrat, and the expedition to find the tree is originally a noble one to save Aguirre's sick daughter. Among the conquistadors, Frank is in charge of drawing the map. Agira is saved by the local tribe, but he kills the villagers to get the arrowhead. His selfish motive causes Frank to switch his allegiance to help the villagers. In the end, the arrowhead is brought away by the daughter of the native chief. After the curse befalls them, Agira hates Frank, and they fight many battles. However, the battles prove meaningless, as they are unable to die. Later, Frank manages to trap Agira and the others in a cave, where the river could not reclaim them and where they become petrified. He then spends centuries searching for the tree to lift his own curse, but is unable to find it without the arrowhead, so he has finally given up. On the other hand, Brother is badly injured and taken care of by the tribe leader. Prince stands in the way of their returning trip, and kidnaps Brother. He threatens Brother to tip off Lily's whereabouts, otherwise, he will blow up the tree and hundreds of villagers with torpedoes. Without any choice, Brother reveals that Lily is venturing to the snake-looking watercourse. Now Lily and Frank have reached the watercourse surrounded by waterfalls. It is hard to find any entrance, but Lily suspects that the entrance is hidden underwater. They go check out in the water, and manage to find the switch as expected. After several attempts, they pull the switch, and a spectacular scene unfolds. The surface of the water begins to descend rapidly, and the prince's submarine is shown. Given that brother is held hostage, Lily and Frank have to obey Prince's words. At the same time, the bees fly back to Agira, delivering the message that the entrance is found. Shortly after, the water stops dropping, and the entrance is revealed. Passing through the cave opening and a huge stone vaulted gate, they finally get to see the magnificent tiers of the moon. As compared to the gigantic tree, Frank's cruise looks rather small. The tree is so dry and dead that when Prince squeezes the trunk, it turns into dust. As Lily is most knowledgeable of the tree, Prince commands her to revive the tree, and then Lily comes to a circular building in the middle of the tree, where many murals are found in it. While solving the puzzles, the arrowhead is discovered to be a heart piece having a gem. After Lily places the gem into the mural, the tree under the blood moon miraculously blooms. Everyone is stunned by the beauty of the tree. Lily and Frank exchange a look with one another, and then Lily shoots Frank. She then pretends to pledge loyalty to Prince, convincing him that she just needs a petal of the flower. Prince allows Lily to pick the flower, so he brings her up to the tree. Needless to say, Frank does not die, and he secretly boards the cruise to knock down Prince's guards and sets brother free. By this time, Prince can no longer threaten them. Lily seizes the opportunity to get away from Prince and jumps to the trunk of the tree via a rope. As the moon is passing by the skylight, moonlight is about to disappear, so the flowers of the tiers of the moon begin to fade quickly. Fortunately, Lily picks a petal of the flower before it withers. Prince wants to grab the petal, but Lily throws it to Frank. Agira and other conquistadors appear at the location and start to chase Lily. Frank purposely waves the flower to attract Agira to himself. The Spanish conquistadors have all clung to the cruise for the flower petal. Frank puts the ship on full steam and sails at full speed towards the archgate. Under the magical tree, Lily and brother deal with Prince. To their shock, Prince is crushed to death by a boulder. Back to Frank's struggle with the conquistadors, the cruise crashes into the archgate. At the moment the ship hits the gate, boulders fall off, and the river is cut off. As they leave the site of the Amazon River, 5 conquistadors are trapped by the vines and turned into stones. Lily is sad to see Frank bound by the vines, and she sacrifices the mythical tree flower to revive him. Although it might be too late for her to do, Lily puts the petal into Frank's mouth. Miraculously, the curse is lifted, and Frank is free from the stones. Lily, brother, Frank, and his pet jaguar hug together in celebration. Returning to London, Frank and Lily begin their happy life together as a couple. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.